That was the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Hey, but if you cannot satisfy as the man, figure it out. They got all types of stuff.
Please don't say nothing that she just said.
No, it's that CTE you got acting up. Yeah, let's talk.
They never ran out of soap. You want some hand sanitizer, but you're not washing your behind. We get that.
That's for sale.
Down, shaking together, shall men give unto your
You ain't pressing.
Just think to yourself, hey, might not even last. Maybe that'll make you feel better right now.
Who talking?
Got all types of stuff.
And that's my
Figure it
final
out.
word.
Well,
What's up, everybody? How
I'm
y'all doing?
unmuted. Am I still muted? Hello,
no,
hello.
you good. We here now. Everybody good now.
Dang.
We hear you.
Erica, you gotta unmute yourself. Wait, how can I unmute?
I don't know how. I don't even know how I got muted. Okay.
There it is. You good? We good, baby.
Y'all done did something tricky. Y'all done went over to the other platform. I ain't gonna hold you. I love that idea.
Yeah, man, we gotta talk to all our people. We don't get the opportunity to do that all. Indeed.
Everybody gets a chance to see what we talking about.
Indeed.
So they can see if they want to come. But we should really be incendiary to do that.
They can dip their toe in the pool real quick, see if they want to jump in or not.
Yo, I don't know if he hit it on accident, and I don't know if y'all know who this is, but Doobie Powell was on our live just a second ago. Okay, Doobie Powell was a world-renowned musician, bro. Like,
What?
well known in the northeastern New York area, but Doobie Powell is serious. I wonder
He's
if
a
he's
very
here now.
serious guy. Very important.
He's dead serious, though. He's amazing.
Hey, I hope he's watching now too. If he watching
Shout
now,
out to Doobie Powell if he coming
out.
on. Shout out to him.
He might have hit it on accident. I don't know, but
It don't matter that.
It don't matter.
It don't matter that.
Yeah.
So it's good. We here. We are all present. Everybody is accounted for. So yeah. What's up, Faye? Hey y'all. Faye is doing a hair video. Y'all know Faye is a very famous YouTuber.
I want to be over there with her right now.
You know.
Yo, Faye doing a hair video, so she gonna be in the comments. She ain't gonna be live. Bro Elkins said, "What's up, gang? What's up, bro Elkins?
What's up, brother
Hey,
Elkins?"
we saw Alex over the weekend.
Alex
over the weekend. Alex. Yeah. It was good to see.
Alex was here. That was clutch. It's good to see her.
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you good. E.
Okay, good. I wish I was with you, Faye, right now.
I got some hair problems too.
I need Faye to help me out. I need her to help me.
Faye, I had Faye send me a whole rundown on stuff to use for my hair. Like real talk. Like y'all know I got a little bit of her. I had Faye send me a rundown on what to do.
Yeah. She called me and put me on for everything for my kids' hair. And y'all should see. I mean, I think y'all seen my son's hair is like crazy tall now, and Hannah's hair is all long. So she put me on, man. Faye in the city.
I'm just gonna put it like this: I don't support discriminatory brands. Okay, why can't a bald and bearded brother patronize Faye in the city? I had to almost twist this girl arm just to get a beard oil. Come on now.
Wait a minute. She told you about the beard stuff, right?
Whatever though. Like I was trying to get something. I was like, Faye, whatever you recommend, I'll pay for it. Just, you know what I mean?
Listen.
Bald and bearded is it's like a subsection of people, okay?
I'm sorry. Bald and bearded became a little more famous during the pandemic. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Beards out here changing dudes' lives. Okay, you saw guys before the pandemic. He was like, nah. Then he gets a beard and get a bald head. You like, yeah. I don't know.
And you see how the women react to it. That's exactly why.
So give us a chance. Give the industry a chance to catch up a little bit.
We've been here. I've been right here this whole time. You
Listen, but you wasn't wearing your top button down. You wasn't doing the shimmy. It was so much you started.
It was only a matter of time. You know what I mean? It was only a matter of time.
Listen, I am excited. Dee, I'm so glad you're here with us. Brother Elkins, hi. We miss y'all so much. Look, y'all came out cutting up tonight. I saw y'all was on Instagram. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. I think when we go on Instagram for the pre-show, we should be extremely incendiary. Our goal should be to get them to get over to this live at all costs.
Be just as raw.
Be just as ridiculous as we can until they get over here now.
Real talk.
That would be great.
So let's do these introductions and let's get into it because Faye's already messing up.
Oh, Faye Carter.
Yeah.
Harris.
Faye already messing up.
Hey, Teddy.
What's up, Teddy?
Because Faye, I got receipts on you too. Let's go.
Oh, Lord, I want to.
Go ahead, because it's finna happen. Let's go.
Let's do this.
Oh, I definitely think we should cuss on the pre-show day. I feel like it should be the rawest thing. I mean, honestly, I think it should be get on in the room at all costs. Now, I'm definitely going to be a little more edgy. I probably would show a hint of shoulder over there. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Probably do
Don't nobody care about your little show.
I'll probably do a little bit. I'll probably do a little something of it. I might get a red lip just for that. I'm going to figure out a few things I'm going to do. And the biggest thing I'm going to do is talk about things that people don't want us talking about. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to get it pulled down. So I have to be careful.
Erica, what are you supposed to be introducing?
You know the stuff that be on live?
I don't know. People, it's weird. Certain things you can do and certain things you can't. So I don't know. It's weird. But I'm going to introduce myself. Listen, my name is Erica Webb. I am AKA Grace Girl. And I do my best to find space for grace in the place. And I find it a lot easier to do during the Christmas holiday season. I have the cross in the background, and I feel powerful right now. And so I'm going to be looking for all the grace tonight. Amen. All right.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Chips Ahoy. I'm enjoying Checkerboard Floyd. Hope everybody's doing all right. I'm not sure if you're thinking this. I know I am. And this is kind of random, so just give me a minute, all right? I just got off a flight maybe a couple of weeks ago. And since we doing this whole, you identify as this, I identify as in shape, okay? From here on out. So I don't appreciate
I'm gonna go now.
Extremely small seats. I am 6'2", 300 plus, okay?
You hard it.
I need some leg room, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way I should be leaning over and all up in the aisle and all this stuff. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it at all. Okay, and I'm gonna write a letter because this is discriminatory towards the big black man, and we are an underrepresented group.
Oh my gosh!
Underrepresented, and it stops now. Okay,
oh, wow.
It stops today.
Okay.
Stops today. All right. We got all this Kanye West and everybody doing all. Look, where is the big black man? Where is our reparations? Where is our? Come on now. I'm gonna get it.
No.
By any means necessary. Teddy, are you with me? Who else in these comments?
No, Troy, no. We don't. We disagree.
We're gonna make a stand. Troy ain't that. Troy, Go ahead. You're not that big of a guy.
I don't like that.
Remember.
How you gonna start right off discriminating? If he identifies, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
The merrier. I'll take. Come on now. Come on over.
You're discriminating against him right away and said, "Well, he doesn't seem like a big guy." See, this is what we're talking about. If he identifies as a big guy, then he's a big guy. I typically identify as Sierra.
Y'all, it don't work like
It's fantastic.
It don't work like, you know what?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It does work like that.
It does work like that.
It's the 2 in the LGBTQIA.
Hey!
It's the 2. It's the 2.
Don't do this.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
I looked
Come
it
on.
up. I looked it up. Yes, I sure got did.
Troy just said he identifies big, and that on that.
Hey, you asked a good question. I'm glad you asked, right? This is 2 categories. It's big and black. All right. So if you're white, that's fine too. You're big. If you're big, it's cool. That's where you fit in the big. It's and black. All right.
Okay, you're confused right now. She's saying that you were excluded tonight as the big black man because all the rest of us wore black and white and we didn't give you the memo. And is it because you're the big black man?
Oh, I don't know. You know what's crazy? You know how you don't really read something? You just-
Yes, I do. That's why.
But I just took that time to give some understanding about our movement.
Okay,
right? So it's
okay.
big folk,
And there's that.
one category, and there's black.
Carly said
together.
big boy season.
Carly said
Right.
it's big boy season.
That's right.
What?
Eyes cut.
Let me tell you something. It's big everything
Eyes
season.
cut.
Amen.
It's warm
It's-
over here.
It's
Outside,
big
it's warm over here.
everything. It's big everything season over here, okay?
Warm over here.
We don't discriminate. Go big or go home, okay?
Right.
So my
Amen.
name is Lee, 2 letters, 2 motherfucking, and I identify as anybody outside of this conversation right now. This is some nonsense. Yeah. So excited for the show. Let's go. As soon as
Let's
we can.
go.
Zoe,
Wait.
come on, let's go.
Well, I am Zoe, and the man has been set and made for us to get on with this conversation. So we're gonna get on with this conversation. There's so many different places where we can start. I'm trying to think. Well, we got 3 topics that we got to hit on. Let's start with Dion because that's the one that we said we're not going to spend too much time.
Hey, real quick, is there an echo to use?
There is an echo. Somebody is listening to this thing on their phone or something.
Not me.
Me?
One. There is an echo.
All right.
Yeah, we
Echo.
all here.
All right.
Let me see. Is it I?
No.
Oh,
Who
still.
is it?
Hey, Tim, mute real quick. Testing 1.
I just muted Tim.
Test 1.
It's Tim.
Uh-oh. Was that Tim? Tim, unmute yourself.
No, Tim's
I
still
just heard
muted.
it again.
Erica.
Erica, unmute yourself.
Okay.
Test 1.
Yeah, it's Erica. I don't know what it is.
It ain't me.
Erica got something going on over there.
Uh-oh.
I got to put some more minutes. Got to put a quarter in her. Go ahead. Talk.
Nah,
Wait, whoa,
the echo gone now.
It's gone now.
gone now?
It's all gone now. We straight.
Yep.
We straight. All
All
right,
right,
great.
cool.
Now let's get on with the thing at hand, and that's Coach Prime going to Colorado. So I'm talking about Deion Sanders. He was a coach at Jackson State. He recently just took a job at the University of Colorado, and the entire internet, well, not even just internet world, everybody about lost their mind, saying that Coach Prime sold the dream, and he left on the dream that he sold. It's a sellout. He didn't come through on his word, and there's a lot of other things that were said. A lot of opinions about what he got going on. A lot of people giving him a hard time in the media. So yeah, we're gonna start there. We're gonna start there with Coach Prime, and hopefully I gave enough information just for the story of it, so that everybody kind of knows what I'm talking about here. But that's what we got right now. So that's what we're talking about. Coach Prime, Colorado, and taking all of his boys with him. He did.
He's bringing his luggage. He bringing
He
his
said he
luggage.
bringing his luggage and his luggage Louis.
It's Louis.
It's Louis.
So he got some boys coming that's gonna transfer with him. He said he bringing his luggage with him and it's Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So all them boys in that room, so to go ahead and figure out what they gonna do, hop in that portal and get out. That's what he told them. That's what he said. That's what he said. He told them boys to hop in that portal.
Listen, I feel that Deion Sanders is, Mr. Primetime himself is a fantastic person. I think he's highly intelligent and equally entertaining. And I think that he, above all, is consistent. I remember being in high school and warming up on the track field to a song called Must Be the Money. Loved it. It was performed, I should say. I don't know if it was written by him, but performed by I think it was written by him too, obviously, by Mr. Primetime himself. And I just remember really liking that song. And he was saying, what is all the reason for the hate and the anger, and what's the reason for why I look this good, and why am I 26 with all this loot? Must be the money. And I thought, this guy is consistent. I don't see an issue here. And if I'm just being serious, I don't think what people are asking of Mr. Sanders in terms of saying, you should stay where you are, you should whatever. I just don't feel like it would work in any other situation, I think many of us have done these kinds of things for much less money. Somebody offers you a 5% raise. Sometimes you just like,
Right.
I'm out of here. So to me, I think that people are asking something that is unrealistic. I also, it's hurtful. I can imagine it's hurtful that, you can do all you can to support or to be a blessing to cause or whatever you're doing, and people praise you, and then next 5 seconds they hate your guts. So I think it's just important to do what is in your heart and be sincere about what you do, because people, they will turn on you in a second. Really hate that happened. So I do not fault Mr. Prime Time. I think that he is made an excellent business decision, and I wish him the best. And that's my loud family.
It's the squad. Anybody? Do y'all want me to go? I guess I'll go.
Go ahead, HBCU, Brad.
All right. So, as a proud alumnus of an HBCU, and actually the same conference that Prime was in, my school was in as well. I got SWAC hours on me, and I got the degree to show for it. So all I got to say is sometimes in our HBCU world, in our SWAC world, it can be a bit cultish. This is what I'm saying, okay? Sometimes when we are so used to, I guess, a certain way of dealing, certain way of operation, we kind of pull this us against the world. He was wrong for announcing it. Yeah, he probably was, Carly. But we don't necessarily know that.
We'll come back to this.
That's when it was posted. But sometimes it can be this whole us against the world type of philosophy thing, right? So when you come into us, we treat you quote unquote as family. But Deion got a lot of backlash when he came into Jackson State. And a lot of it was coming from alumnus of Jackson State, right? And we don't need him, and he think he all of this, and he, all of that type of stuff, right? But then we didn't know he was here. He wasn't here for a long time like everybody else, all right? He wasn't Eddie Robinson. He wasn't this, the whole SWAC forever type thing that most of us are used to, right? You come into SWAC and you hold on to the position as coach for the longest time. Matter of fact, I mean, even from every position, from staff, band directors, department heads and chair people and all that type of stuff. You stay for a very long time. That's what we're used to. But Prime did a lot of work in that little bit of time that he was there in those 3 years. I think the record was like 27-5. That's 5 is how many games he lost. All right. Now
in the first 2 years.
It was 3 total. It was all
right, but he only lost in the first 2. His last year, he didn't lose at all.
Exactly. Won the SWAC championship twice.
Mm-hmm.
It was undefeated all this year, right? So you look at my situation. We had a coach, and this is true story right hand to the man, all right? Some people probably feel like I'm spilling the beans, but it's public information. Y'all just didn't know. It was a dude that was dealing drugs as a coach. I don't know if he was dealing. I think he was dealing and doing.
Okay.
The brother dealing and doing. Now that's SWAC. Is that what you want to call SWAC? Really? And I believe he was a product of an HBCU. That's SWAC. That's what we used to. That's what you want to identify with? Please. Coach Prime was a breath of fresh air. College game day at Jackson State. We're down the street, the water dirty. Excuse me? Really? National coverage constantly. I mean, it was a breath of fresh air. So my problem is that we didn't see this as a growth opportunity from the beginning, right? So then if you see it you see him as a possible light, which he attempted to be, maybe in his own way, right? It may not fit your cup of tea. It might, argue with your taste buds a bit. But this was an opportunity, and we didn't see it as that. So now Eddie Robinson Jr. having this whole argument and all this stuff like you ain't SWAC and all this clashing, and then, but what are we really doing? Prime came in saying that there was 0 HBCU members that was in the NFL combine, not one drafted.
Wow.
Now what have we done? That was 2020. It's 2022.
Right.
What have we done about that? Now we see what he's done, but what have we done?
Right.
So now, of course, the man gotta go. He gotta roll. This is a big opportunity. Now, think about Colorado. We think it's a Power 5 based on the conferences, but these brothers went 1-11. They was terrible.
They couldn't win for losing.
So when people talk about his rhetoric to the University of Colorado and the football team, y'all suck and y'all been trash. So the first thing you do, you throw out the trash. All right? If you trash, look, you used to losing, okay? And you do stuff that causes you to lose. You got to go, bro. It is what it is, and that's what I got to say.
Well, Tim, I appreciate your perspective. I love your perspective, actually, coming from an HBCU grad. I think that you were a bit, dare I say, lenient on your fellow colleges, if you will.
As I was. Now watch your mouth.
Watch
your mouth now.
Hey.
Watch your mouth.
I'm going to be
Don't go
as
too
respectful. I'm going to be as respectful.
That's all I'm saying.
And I'm going to be as I'm going to be as good as I know how to be. All right? I'm
now, text it to me and I'll say it. Now watch your mouth.
No. See, because I don't trust you to say it. So, I think we all have to let's go back, because I don't want to engage in this revisionist history that pops up at these moments where we start rewriting the narrative as what we would like it to be instead of what it actually was. Tim said it right. When he went to Jackson State, we had a problem with it. Black people had a problem with it. It wasn't everybody else. Black people had a problem with it. SWAC had a problem with it. Jackson State had a problem with it. Everybody had a problem with him going to Jackson State. Okay? So you're mad when he comes, and you're mad when he leaves. Okay? He comes. And within the first 6 months of him being on the campus, trying to elevate the stature of HBCUs, what happened? He gets his car broken into by us. By us. It wasn't white people. It was us. Okay? They stole some stuff out of the car. And then it wasn't until he put it out there on social media, hey, this happened, I'm looking for it. That's when, the streets actually, returned his stuff. But that was within the first 6 months. And then he got his stuff stolen out of the coach's locker room while he was on the field coaching a game.
Won the game.
And came back, and his stuff was stolen. Okay?
And he was like, I don't know. He was like, how?
Right. Look. We are just so focused on ourselves right now. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's not talk about like, oh, well, the outside noise. Let's just focus on us, SWAC, HBCUs, black people. Let's do some soul searching, if you will. Now, we have every indication by our HBCU grad that is on here saying that, hey, they honored every contract that they gave Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. They honored it. But the problem wasn't the contract. The problem was the dubious nature in which they were facilitating everything else. In his contract, it said everything over 30K ticket sales, that means 5% of those ticket sales goes directly to him. That was in his contract before he even stepped on campus. That was in his contract.
Yeah.
Wait, say it again. Say that again, Lee.
In his contract, it was after 30,000 tickets, because the average attendance before he got there was 25,000. And that's including homecoming when it was full. Then all the other games, wasn't nobody going. All right, nobody was going to the games. So they said, we have a 62,500 person stadium. We can't even half fill it. If we can do half fill it, we'll give you a percentage of everything after that. That was the first contract they gave him. And they have not renewed it. This is what they got. However, we've seen the College Game Days. We've seen the pictures and the aerial shots of every single game since Prime has been on. That stadium has been filled. And it is a capacity of 62,500 people. But on every report, it said that they only sold 28,000 tickets.
What?
I can't make it up. It is. And Prime didn't put this out. It was actually a source from from Jackson State. I don't know. It is a source that went to ESPN that reported it. So Deion didn't even put y'all out there like that. And then for people to be like, oh well, he lied, he did this. He could have did a whole lot more than what he did. So they didn't. He said that wasn't true about the contract. He said, okay, all right. Oh, you know what, Carly? You know what? We don't have to. I'm not even gonna go back and forth.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna go back and forth.
I don't know about that.
Carly fact checking right now.
Carly is the whole time bashing the mess out of Deion Sanders.
Listen,
but what you can't do, right?
She said Prime ain't SWAC.
Okay, all right. Look. Prime might not be SWAC. But I hate to break it to you, Carly. I really do. It pains me to say this because I love you. I have to say it, and it has to come from me because I love you, and it's coming from a place of love. Carly, SWAC ain't even SWAC.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
What are we talking about? the statement
everything
itself.
that you talk about when you talk about like SWAC, HBCUs, and stuff like that, it's coming from outside. It's not even coming from you. It's not coming from the grads. It's not coming from the bands. It's not coming from it definitely wasn't coming from your athletic program. And when Deion comes in and elevated every college, every HBCU college athletic program took a bump when he signed the dotted line.
Not every now. Pause.
Yeah, Forbes released a report that said that when he signed the dotted line, HBCUs, their value went up by a net of $9 million.
Now, how? Now the question is, how is Forbes collecting that data? The second question is, did they come to UAPB?
Data.
They ain't come to UAPB. I promise you
They
that.
collected data. They collected data by the average of ticket sales. And again, they collected by average ticket sales, the cost of tickets, the TV contract. Well, let's talk about the TV contract. The TV contract that he brought to Jackson State that they didn't sign. It was a huge deal that could have paid for all of their renovations and everything that they did not do. So Jackson State talking about like, oh well, you know, he did this, and then they was gonna pay him the revised contract when he came up front with the AD saying, hey, this is what I'm being offered. Their offer back to him was, we'll pay you $1 million, but you got to pay your staff out of the $1 million.
Right.
And that's verified.
Yeah.
So
that happened, which is bogus.
So
he's back to making the same thing he was making before. I mean, that's all it is.
Exactly. You're not really doing anything. You're posturing. You're the person in the fight, like, do something. But you ain't really about to fight. You not really want to give this man his value, because again, he brought the in terms of enrollment, admission, and stuff like that all took a bump just because prom was on the campus. So what we can't do is sit here and bash the man because he made the decision, when you're not going to look in the mirror and look at all the stuff that happened to him while he was at Jackson State and say, hey, this might have been off too. Did we have a press conference when he got his stuff stolen? Did we go on CNN when they broke into his son's car on campus multiple times? Do we go in when he had to come out of his pocket half of his salary to actually pay for the renovations that they needed to do for the athletic facility?
Mm-hmm.
So the $30,000, the $300K that they was paying him, he had to cut that in half so that 150 of it they could actually use to renovate some of the athletic facilities. We're not gonna look in the mirror, guys. We don't want to do some soul searching here and figure out this ain't even a hard thing. He shouldn't have came out of 1 cent. Shouldn't have came out of 1 cent, because what the value that he brought to the campus and to the athletic program alone could have and should have paid for the renovation.
Most definitely.
But because people ain't being, some things is being shady. Now you might say, oh, well, it's unverified and Jackson State released a statement. They can release all they want to. You know what they can't do? Is fake some pictures. They can't fake the pictures, because we saw some full stadiums. And there was a lot
Carly
more than
really ain't
28,000 people.
fooling with Coach Prime.
You
Carly
said you
really,
give him
Carly
too much credit.
really not
Too much
fooling.
credit.
Too much.
Too much credit.
She said we are. She said because of the times and students making a decision to go to HBCUs because of all of the unrest and all of the things that were coming out, and then wanting to align more with their people. And so she's saying, listen, it wasn't just Prime that welcomed this attention from.
Okay, so time out. This is what I got to say. Because some people really do not understand. All right, I'm not even going to say that. Replace Prime with any other Hall of Fame NFL player, any other Black Hall of Fame. Who on the planet could have had this effect? Now, you are right. You are very right, Carly. And people are saying this too. We're giving Prime too much credit.
Hold on. What credit did we give him that wasn't due to him? Like, tell us, because be specific, Carly Ward. What specifically are we giving him?
When you spoke about the HBCU increased bump at large, that the report that Forbes gave, right?
Right.
That's considering too much credit. But here's the deal.
Okay.
The rhetoric of HBCUs and all that type of stuff. Who could have done this, like Prime did it? No, Shannon Sharp couldn't have came off his Sports Center job and done this. Like Eddie George is right there at Tennessee State. You don't hear nothing going on over there. And Eddie George is, I mean, he maybe maybe the best running back in the state of Tennessee ever. So I mean, who could have possibly stepped in and done this like this? Now the effect of Deion Sanders, Deion is maybe top 5 greatest NFL players of all time. Definitely one of the greatest athletes to walk the face of the earth.
And one of the biggest personalities to ever walk the face of the earth.
Before he was coaching, he was reporting, he was on NFL Network, he could have done anything. He did not. So people will say, okay, so he used the platform of HBCUs to go to a Power 5. That is not a path to a Power 5.
Right.
There is no other coach. None. You got to dig deep to find one that has gone from HBCU to Power 5 and been successful. There is no other coach. Zero. He's one of one. This is not. So what he just did was bust the door open for the possibility for somebody else. And now the eyes are still on Jackson State because Deion chose to leave there. So like next year, Jackson State is going to still get national coverage. Now, if they suck,
hey, be real, Tim. Be real, Tim.
They don't have to suck.
They don't.
They don't have to be trash. They can still be pretty solid.
What he possibly
they don't have to be. Now they might not go undefeated, but Jackson State has had some good years.
Hey, look.
That wasn't their first SWAC championship. They're a solid football program. They don't have to suck next year.
Okay, Tim. With all due respect, Tim, they will suck next year. And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
Not necessary.
I'm going to. I'm going to tell you why. There are 22 starting positions on the field for a football team. 22 starters, offense and defense. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, about 18 of them boys about to transfer. The transfer portal.
The number was 10 that he said. He said 10.
No, he said 10 are coming with him.
Right.
Kids are leaving Jackson State, period. They may not be going with him to Colorado, but they're going to hit that portal, and they're going to be out of there. Two things. One, because of who he suggested to replace him, for one. And then two, let's just call it what it is. The Jackson State head coaching job is the worst job in the country right now. It's the worst job in the country.
It depends on who they hire.
It's the worst job in the country. It don't matter who they hire. It's the worst job in the country because you're coming after Coach Prime, who was the biggest coach to ever step foot, not ever, because Eddie Robinson Sr. is probably the biggest coach to ever coach at the HBCU. So the second biggest coach and the most dynamic coach to coach in the HBCU and Coach Prime 1. 2, you got to retain players. Them kids about to hit the portal, Tim. The transfer portal is real. Who gonna be left to play? A bunch of second and third stringers that wasn't getting on the field in the first place. So yes, they're going to suck. And the last thing I'm gonna say, because we need to move on to our pastor that wants to grow weed at the church. But the last thing I'm gonna say is another part of the backlash. A lot of people were coming at Prime talking about the culture. And because there's been a lot of people saying, Oh, we can't wait to get Prime at Colorado. We can't wait to get what he did at Colorado. That's been a big thing. So there's been this, I guess, assumption from people thinking that the culture that he had at Jackson State is coming with him. I'm gonna show y'all a tweet that was said. This lady, she's a reporter for. She said, "Here go her little bio."
Yeah.
Somebody. She said, "Ready for this energy in Boulder." And my response is, "Who's gonna tell her?" And she's talking about this.
You can forget about it, baby. You can forget about that, man. For real.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. But again, you might not get that in Colorado. You might not get that, that level of interaction. But I kid you not, it's gonna be better than what you had. And I truly believe this. Like we could say everything, you can talk about until the cows come home. That's fine. And Carly, I really love your last statement when she said, like, he didn't make Jackson State, and Jackson State's gonna thrive afterwards.
They are.
My thing is, like, yes, you will thrive, but thriving has different meanings. What Prime was trying to do has never been done, and it's the mentality of, okay, well, we good with you and we good without you. Like, that's the type of mentality that's going to keep Jackson State exactly where it is. And it kept them from retaining him, because I don't believe it was because of the money that he left. I think that it was all of the things that led up to it. And there was no commitment from administration. There was little to no commitment. As soon as he signed on the dotted line, there was no commitment from them to partner with him and finish what they started. There was no commitment. So we can say, oh, they're gonna thrive. They might go right back to where they were before he left. They might. We don't know.
They will.
That's great.
That's not going to be
let's move on now, because we've talked about Prime way longer than anticipated. So let's move on now. I'm gonna move
tired
on.
Of these people talking bad about Prime. Tired of them. Tired.
Look, I'm gonna say. I'll say this. Okay, I'm gonna go back, because I haven't said much on this. I'm gonna go to what Tim said, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And this is something that's very true. Most football coaches that coach in HBCUs stay at HBCUs. There's not too many football coaches that come to an HBCU and then leave to even an FCS job, let alone a Power 5 job. Yeah. So most guys that get to an HBCU stay at HBCU. So for Prime to come and go is not seen often. But at the end of the day, it's Coach Prime, and I don't know anybody who in their right mind would have taken the deal that he got to coach at Colorado. All right, he went from making. There was a guy, a sports commentator. He said, "Well, Coach Prime kept saying that God sent him to Jackson State, and now he's saying that God sent him to Colorado. Maybe what God is really saying is he wants 10% of $5 million instead of 10% of $375K.
Come
Prime
on,
$5 million.
You know what? People really
that clown. That clown. You talking about
people really
that clown.
This stupid talk. You know that.
They said it. No, I ain't say it. It was them that said it, not me.
I know, and it's the foolish people that don't got no biblical foundation that's gonna read that like, oh well, put two and two together. There's a story in the Bible where God told somebody to do one thing, and then He told them to do another thing.
Thank you.
You know what I just described? The entire Bible.
The whole Bible.
I mean, the whole Bible.
He tell you to do one thing, and then He never tell you to do one, never tell you to do something else. Whatever. No, what's stupid is, God telling you to get married and then saying, you graduated and now you want to get another degree with another man.
Oh Lord, here we go.
We never talked about that.
That don't make
people. Okay. All right. All right.
It's crazy. Give before God
on here.
And then say now you got a degree. Crazy.
All right.
We never talked about
that. Saints. Moving on here. Okay. All right. Moving on. We're going to the next subject. I think this is the subject that everyone have a nice out. recently. What's the name of this Pastor Tim?
No,
Jamal Bryant.
we are not.
You gotta say his name. His name is all over the video, Erica. We ain't gonna hide it. He said it. Talking about some don't say his name. We saying the man's name. He the one that said it. Come on now. We about to show the video. I want to see his freaking face.
No, let me tell you something. I love the energy you giving right now, Doc. And I want you to keep that same energy, Doc. Yep. When I want to watch and play a video of somebody acting a plumb darn fool on camera, and y'all tell me, no, Erica, we don't want to put it out there. We don't want to offend them.
You can't let nothing go.
Right here, please.
Can't let nothing go. That was like what? February? That was so long ago.
Halloween.
Yeah, that was.
You know why? Because y'all was. Let me. Okay, go ahead.
Come on. Like I was saying, Pastor Jamal Bryant was recently on a podcast, and he talked about how he wanted to attract people to his ministry, and he was going to use marijuana to do it. See for your.
I'm looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really is. New Birth is the largest land-owning black church in America. Wow. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him.
The 5 on
okay.
the drop.
Hey, look.
The
hey,
5
look.
on the drop for
First
me.
of all, let me just say, I don't know what the name of that lady was that was talking to him, but whoever she is, she needs to be everybody's best friend and hype man, because she seemed like she down for anything. You tell her anything, she's cool with it.
Hey, so guess what?
She was hyping that idea up more than I know.
She swag. How about that?
She swag. That must be what swag is. She was down. Hey, she was down for the cause, Doc. She was acting like it was the best thing he ever said. Okay. She was like, oh, yes. Oh, she was head going back and forth. I'm like, okay, well, she seemed to be down for the cause. Maybe
making her guess
grow some weed in the church. Shoot, maybe we should be doing. Wait, she was talking.
She was making.
So, all right. Let me tell y'all something. Now, I want to hear Lee's thoughts on this first. Right now. No, I want to hear the pastor. See,
Erica, no, we done done a lot of talking about this sports thing. We want to hear you.
I want the pastor first. One thing I know about Lee, he gonna say, well, you know, as someone who, you know, works in this field, amen. I want him to go first before I go clean up.
I'm gonna start whispering. I'm
missing something. Maybe I haven't been to an evangelism team meeting in too long with the pastors. Okay, so I want Lee to tell me how they have upgraded. You know, back then you just gave out, you know, some tracts. Maybe you went door to door. You know, here recently we've got some ways that we engage. You know, and inviting and welcoming people and evangelizing. But see, I haven't been in meetings in the last 2 years, you know, with adults. I've been doing children's pastoring and evangelism with younger people. But maybe, you know, I left out the drugs as a way to bring people to God. So I want Lee, Pastor Lee, to help me understand how I can welcome people to God with drugs. Now, no. No.
You misrepresenting what he said.
No, I'm not going to misrepresent the thing. I know that I'd have been on the platforms. This may or may not have been one of them, where this young lady, Leandra, out here giving out cigarettes. Oh, shit.
And condoms.
Oh, she is out here. She is a disgrace giving out cigarettes. But this guy say, you don't got to give it out. Grow it in your backyard. And then smell it and come running to God.
state is this church? Is this church y'all know?
Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia.
Is marijuana is legal in
I
Georgia?
believe so. Yo, as many people
I
as
think
I see
so.
on podcast smoking it, I believe so.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think so. I think it's legal in Georgia.
Pastor, tell us what to do with the cannabis.
Show us the way, Pastor. Teach us the way.
Look. I don't like this thing where like you saying to me like where I have to only have one thing to say.
And give us one thing. Here's your cannabis and here's your track. Come to Jesus while you have time.
Eric gonna have a weed cross tree.
Wrap it around here and light it on fire with some Christmas lights. God, come on, Lee, just give us the green light. Go on, Pastor.
I don't like where this is going, but as in my personal view on what he said, I don't think that that's something that I could do. In terms of like, if I had enough land, like my first thought wouldn't be to start growing weed. That just ain't me. I would probably lean towards something that I know to do with the land that would yield probably better fruit. But that ain't my land.
Any fruit will do.
Or any fruit at all. Like
any fruit at all.
It couldn't be me. But again, that's not. I don't have to have that discussion because I don't have land. But if, and I think that I was talking about this on the pre-show. I really think that Jamal Bryant is one of those guys where he's a person that needs people around him that are like the restraint people. Like, hey, yo, I got this. Yo, let's start church on the moon. And then the people around him be like, like where your head's at, there's no atmosphere up there. There's no nothing up there. Like there's no water, there's no people up there, like nothing. So then he'd be like, you know what, you're right. Next idea. I think he really needs some people around him like that. Because there are, like, in the kingdom, there are people around, like they are the left-brained individuals that have these crazy ideas that sometimes you praise them for, but sometimes you get crucified for it. You just need people around you to, filter that out. Be like, okay, yeah, this is one of the good ones. This is the ones that shall never be mentioned ever again. But he was on a podcast with, somebody that was hyping him up, like, yo, oh God, like that was that.
He wanted to say more.
She wasn't the one. She was not the one. Yeah, no. So, yeah, but if I had land, it probably wouldn't be me growing weed. But I'd probably do something to, try to help the community.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Pastor. I feel better about what I now want to say. I am not. Let me tell you what I'm not. I am not one of these folks that when someone
Hey, yo, that's nice. That's nice, Brother Elkins.
Hey,
nice.
Brother, hey, Minister Elkins is fantastic. Okay, I love the answer. Listen, I am not one of these people that is against unorthodox ways to win believers. I think that having creativity in evangelism is beautiful. I think it is great. I think people who are still telling folks, I'm gonna make somebody mad when I say this. I think if people who are still saying, hey, meet us at the church and we're gonna give y'all a bunch of flyers and pass out tracts. I think that's not. I think that is
whack.
I think attention. I think that is not.
Can you say whack? Can you say that's whack?
I think it's whack.
That's whack. Okay, all right.
Whack.
All right.
So, I think that is ridiculous. So I feel that people being creativity and being creative in evangelism is beautiful, and I support it. And I'm like you, I love being in those rooms where people throwing stuff around. And I used to say this all the time when I would do step team stuff. I would say, the first thought that came to your mind, that one is probably trash. I mean, it's either trash or somebody else thought of it before. I always tell people, keep that on the shelf, but dig down a couple more times, because that first one is probably something everybody thought of. People back in the late 90s and early 2000s didn't get this MO with army fatigue. Everybody wanted to go to war on the devil. Everybody wore army fatigue for everything. And I was like, let's not wear that, because everybody is wearing that. Anyway, my point is,
they don't even wear it in the army no more.
That's my thing. Okay. So it was annoying. So my thing is, I'm with that. I feel him saying what he said really, as a man that I feel is another person I feel is pretty intelligent. It upset me because he was getting ready to say, so if I have a black man, down the road, and then he switched it and said a black boy, which meant he wanted to make sure that he understands that a lot of our younger, our black youth, are the people that are smoking marijuana, for whom it is not legal. Okay. And also, it's not legal for that age group for very good reason. This is something that I've been talking to my husband about for a few months now. I really hate that we don't address what marijuana does to the young brain. The brain that is not yet fully developed actually deals with a lot of mental health, psychiatric, depression, all kinds of issues come with smoking marijuana for children under 25. I say that because 25, as we know, is when the brain fully develops. So under that number, there are many, many studies that show that marijuana is a problem health-wise, mentally, emotionally, physically for our youth. And we don't really talk about that. Everybody's always pushing there. When I say we, I mean we as a community, I mean we in music, everybody's pushing, even the people who are really elite, they're like pushing a narrative that marijuana's good, it ain't never hurt nobody, you don't act this way. But there are so many things associated with marijuana in youth that are dangerous, that show erratic behavior and all kinds of things, inability to do certain stuff, can't remember stuff, your memory, your mindset, your gut, your intestinal health, everything problematic under 25. So for him to get ready to say, if I got a black man down the road, well, a boy down the road, and they're like, we got marijuana at the church, I'm getting ready to go join. It just really upset me, because it's like, not only is it illegal for that demographic, it's also dangerous for them. And you have a large land, but you also live in places that don't have healthy food. They're calling food deserts, and there's fast food everywhere, and there's not a lot of healthy foods. You can grow food. You can teach kids how to grow their own doggone food. You can do all kinds of things, but your mind is cannabis because it's gonna make my church bigger. That really made me mad. That's stupid, and and he's not a stupid person. So I don't even know why she was. That's just my wow. I want to because I'm like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. Like, it's not even good for them health wise. Let alone Jesus is attractive. He don't need you to do that. He does not need you to get people high so they can get saved.
Yeah.
You're making me mad. I'm mad about that. And Pastor, thank you for not supporting that, because I know you love to see what areas you can low-key be agreeing with these folks. But this guy has no business using all his land to grow cannabis.
Hey, look, I did not. I'm not saying I'm against or for.
No, you don't. You say you are.
I'm not saying that. I said that it wouldn't be me. That's what I said. It would not. If I had the land, why not?
Yeah.
Because I personally I don't feel the compilation to actually grow that. Like, okay, I have no interest in it. I have no, like, nothing in me would want to do it. So, like, yes, it's my land. Somebody else can do it. Somebody else can do it. But if it's mine, then I would probably want to have some type of relationship with what comes from the ground.
I see.
So if it's something that I have a relationship with, like, yo, I'm trying to think, if I had land, I probably would probably go more towards the organic food route, because I understand how, Lively Stone is in the food desert. So, like, I understand the importance of it and the value of it.
Yeah.
Say, like, okay, if you can have those type of foods, it brings value to the area. It brings property values up. It brings businesses in. It brings all that type of stuff in, just to have access to food in the area. So I understand that piece. Because I understand that so well, I would probably do that. I don't understand the marijuana market enough. And I do not understand cannabis enough. I'm sorry. I don't. Now, in full disclosure, now, like, if you look at my stock portfolio, I do have some type of cannabis investments. But those are investments. I'm not gonna get in there and grow the stuff myself.
Hello, Pastor. Excuse me, Zoe. Man of God.
I do understand the marijuana market. I can give a little insight here. As far as growing it, right now most marijuana farms are not based in America. There are only, I believe, 3 major companies that grow marijuana and that are based here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So if he indeed has all this land to grow marijuana from it, could it be a lucrative business decision? Absolutely. I am not saying that I agree with using marijuana to lure marijuana users to the church. I think that's a bit, extra. But,
well, that's what we're discussing, because we're not discussing whether or not growing cannabis is a lucrative business opportunity. I think that's a fantastic business opportunity. But he made sure to talk about that he was getting into agriculture for the purpose of growing cannabis, for that end to bring young people to church. So we was talking about making money. Hey, Mr. Bryant, listen, there's money to be made. You have a land, okay. But he said he wants word to get out that he growing weed at the house, and that they can come get the weed, and while you're there, pick up a little Jesus. What say you?
Well, honestly, here's what I'll say. Again, I don't think using a drug to lure people to Christianity is a good idea. I'm gonna just be honest. If to use marijuana to lure people to church, I'm not for it. If he's talking about growing marijuana at his church and giving men at his church the job and teaching them how to farm and all that, and it's legal in Georgia, okay, that's another thing. But it's going to be real hard for you to separate the two. It's going to be real hard for you to separate the growing marijuana and the using of marijuana for ministry. I don't think we should use drugs, any kind of drug, for ministry. Growing it and teaching you how to grow it, it's a good nonprofit service project. I ain't gonna say it's a good ministry. I think we should separate. We got to separate the two. And right now, he got the two convoluted. That's just kind of what it is. Like, I'm just saying I don't think it's a good thing to use it to lure people to ministry. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I want to address something.
Me too. I want to go ahead.
So, Troy, you just said people needed to survive. Well, they should grow it. All right. If you need marijuana to live, you don't go to the church for all of your other services that you need to provide you with your quality of life, i.e. your food. Necessarily, you don't necessarily go to the church for that. You don't go to church to be clothed necessarily. Not everybody. Some people might get clothed from church. But if that's your situation, my deal is I don't like it's convoluted to me.
Yeah, because if you're talking about medicinal marijuana, like for people who have cancer and all of that.
Yeah, you wouldn't go to the church for that anyway.
You didn't say that. You don't just go get marijuana and just smoke it anyway you want. Like, there literally is monitored. There's certain amounts you need. There's certain age groups that type of treatment isn't even offered to them because of their age. So
right.
I mean, when you say you need it to survive, can you explain what you mean by that? Because if you just mean there are people who are sick who use medicinal marijuana to help them, you know, keep food down, to cure nausea, to do all the things that while they're dealing with their chemo, like all that, I get that. I understand that, but we're not talking about that. He did not say I'm having marijuana because people have medical issues in my assembly. He's saying I want to appeal to young boys, specifically said them, so I can't say if he wanted for the girls. For boys, hey, you hear they got weed at the church? Where do I sign up? That's his mind.
And that's ridiculous. That's not the stand. Now, here you are, a pastor. You don't just speak for your local congregation.
Exactly.
Especially when you step on that national platform. Now, you done stepped on my shoes, bro, and I got a problem with it, all right? You are not proper representation of the church that I'm a part of Christ. That is not proper representation. That's not how we get down. If you need it, then go to the places where you go to get the things that you need, right? Now, again, we could talk about, okay, well, the church should be people call the church a hospital and the church should be the place where you get everything. That is not the way in which we operate now. Your church own a grocery store? Do your church own a mall? Is there a seamstress there that's where you get all of your supplies from? No, you're going to go to the doctor to get your medication if that's what you need. Right. But this is recreational marijuana.
Right.
This is for recreational use.
Exactly.
And now you're going to tie that to the church and say, now we're bringing, come on, fam. Come on now. Now, I mean, what's the difference between having that and your church being a club during the week? Well, now maybe those people can come. Bro, that's extra backwards, man. That's extra back. There is a definitive line. Erica just left. There's a definitive line between the world and God. There is a definitive line. And right now, what we're seeing is, you see Joe's blurry background back there? That line is being blurred more and more and more. And now it's coming from the pulpit. So where are we to go? If this is the person that we are supposed to get our information from as the body of Christ, we're in a heap of trouble. And even if he was speaking in just, it's crap. It's absolute trash. It's absolute trash. Okay. So just a little bit, right? So there, if you can say the Satanist church, they have this saying. And you might have heard or saw it like on a Jay-Z album or a Jay-Z shirt, right? The saying is, do as thou wilt. That's the saying. What you'll find is the common idea amongst this nation is not the Constitution. It is that very statement. Do as thou wilt. I can't wait to turn 18 so I can do what I want to do. You can't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. Police pull me over. No, I'm not doing it. I do what I want to do. I should be able to do whatever I want to do. That is not the reality when you come over here to this Christian lifestyle. And it is something that's different that we really don't, we got to filter that out of our system. When you come over here, you don't do what you want to do. That ain't if that be the case, you go on out there and do what you want to do. But that's not what, when you choose Christ as your Lord and Savior, right? Big L, capital L. When you have a landlord and you move into that house, that ain't your house, bruh. You can't do what you want to do in that house because you have a Lord. You have a Lord. That is something that we really, even in this modern day Christian church, we are rejecting the fact that we have a Lord. We can't do what we want to do. We just can't. We can't go out and and again, there's murky grounds with traditionalism versus how those things are interpreted now. But the bottom line is we have somebody that we answer to. We have a guideline in which we follow. And that's what it is, period, point blank. There is no way of getting around that on this side. Now you step outside and handle things out there. I remember we was talking about and Pastor Lee, you was sitting there. We was talking about a situation where a person was facing the death penalty or life in prison. One of those two things. I think it was life in prison, right? And there was a question brought up. Okay, where are the clergy in this circumstance? And the pastor, just sometimes he'll get quiet, or just you'll find that in a lot of pastors, he'll get quiet and then just end up saying something. It's funny how people want to involve the church after the act. You want to call the church to be your saving grace, but you have already been given what to do. The word has been preached to you. The fact that you know what a pastor is means that you know what the standard is. You know what they stand for. They ain't standing for that mess that you did. That's obvious. You don't need no help in that area. But now you want the church to put all this money up and do all this other stuff. But you didn't make that decision. You didn't choose wisely on your own. So we can't do what we want to do. That's the big. If you need it, go to the places in which you go to provide the things that you need. You got a subscription for your antibiotics, go get a subscription for your weed. That's
all. So we kind of on that time to get to the final words. Let me say this. And Troy, I want to respond to the last thing you just said, and I'm speak directly to you right now. I understand that, and I know you're commenting on the Loudly Stone official YouTube channel. So I understand that you probably have this perception right now that everybody that you're looking at is coming from a certain background and doesn't know much about weed and or marijuana. But Troy, I want to introduce you to myself real quick. My name is Alfonso Scott, and I have a baby brother that's just sleep. My brother conversations about marijuana and the necessity for it all the time. So ain't nothing that you're saying that's different, because you're saying right that weed is necessary and it's bigger than you and your church. The necessity for weed is by choice. And if you are using weed to treat other things that you deal with in your life, that is your choice. Because there are multiple ways to deal with the things that people use weed to address. Weed ain't the only way. You choose to use marijuana. Now, whatever reason you choose to use marijuana for, that's your choice. You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want to do. That's your choice. But when we have these conversations about what we believe, right, and what people choose to believe, what you choose to do and what you choose to believe is your choice. What we choose to believe and what we choose to do is our choice. I'm not going to talk down on you because you choose to smoke weed. The same way that you shouldn't talk down on me because I choose not to. I'm not going to talk down on you because you feel that weed is a necessity. It should be the same way when I speak about how I feel like it's not. We're going to have our opinions. We're going to have our say-so. But make no mistake, there is no perception, or let me not say it like that. There is no reality in which, and I'll just speak personally for myself, right? I'm only going to speak for myself right now. I deal with people with marijuana all the time for a living. And it ain't just marijuana I deal with. I deal with marijuana. I deal with K2. I deal with crack. I deal with heroin. I deal with meth. I deal with all of it. Acid, water, all of it, right? I deal with kids and adults that deal with all of it. So if you don't believe nobody else, believe me when I say that I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can assure you that if you use it in the form of a necessity, that's your choice. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. You probably choose to use marijuana because you're going to say it's natural. You're going to say that it's a natural way to get through whatever you get. That's fine. That's your choice. Well, shoot, when my grandmother was going through dialysis, there was a doctor that suggested to her that she take marijuana edibles to help her body eat away at the bad cells that she was dealing with dialysis. She chose not to. It was her choice. Everybody has a choice. Marijuana is becoming more preferred than tobacco in today's culture and economy. So more people are smoking marijuana than tobacco. That's just the reality of it. But it's a choice. All right. A necessity is water, food, right? A roof over your head, essentials like that. There are things that marijuana may help you get through, but it's not the only thing that can help you get through it. You just choose marijuana, and that's your choice. I'm not going to come against you with your choice, but you can't come against other people that choose the opposite. That's all I'm saying. Marijuana is a choice. Nobody needs marijuana to survive. You choose to use marijuana to get through the things you get through, to battle the faces of life that you deal with, to battle with the mental things that you deal with. And I understand it, because again, I know a lot of people that do it. Just don't call it what it is. I know a lot of people that do it. And I talk to people about it all the time. I don't treat them no differently. I don't love them no differently. It's their choice. That's their choice. It's your choice. Everybody watching this thing got a choice. If you smoke it, you choose to smoke it, that's fine. I'm gonna say this, and this is the reality. God can use you whether you smoke weed or not. I'm just being real with you. God can use anybody, whether you smoke weed or not. So this ain't got nothing to do with no church. This is a choice, bro. You choose to smoke weed, that's your choice. That's it. But to say that it's a necessity, you're giving too much credit to the drug, because the drug itself, necessity, it's a choice to deal with the problem that you may suffer with. But it is a choice, because there are other ways to deal with said problem. There are other ways to deal with issues that marijuana help fix. There are other ways. You choose to use marijuana. There's no choice. Do you need to use it for that problem? Most likely not. I haven't, of all the people that I've dealt with, I haven't come across a single person that needs marijuana to get through things. Need marijuana to get through glaucoma. Needs marijuana to get through. I know there was a story of a guy that had chronic seizures, and using a marijuana mask helped him with them seizures. And it did, and it was great. But there were other things that helped him too. So the marijuana wasn't the only thing. There are things that you can use to help deal with stuff. If you choose to use marijuana, that's your choice. That's your choice. But we're not going to sit here and talk down on people because they choose the former. We're not going to sit here and assume what people do and don't know. I get it. I understand the perception. You're watching this from a church platform, and you're assuming that everybody up here is church and only knows church. But I hate to break it to you, sir. That's just not the reality. This is not the reality. We could have a real conversation on the next episode, and I can bring some people on this thing that you're looking at right now that deal with marijuana, that deal with crack, that deal with some stuff, some real drugs. And we can have a great conversation. I'm cool with all of them. I love on all of them. We can have a great conversation. But let's not throw perceptions and realities on people that aren't true. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Was that your final words, though?
That's it, bro. I'm done.
Yeah.
Eve's laptop died, everybody. But she sent her final words. She said, using sticks to get stoned is not permitted over here. That is her final words. My final words, I don't really think I can add more to what Alfonso said, but Yeah, I don't want to minimize the choices that people make. By there's only a couple of things that you need in this world. You need air, you need water, and you need sustenance physically in order to continue life. Physiologically, you need love, you need support, all that type of stuff. But what's necessary and what's not just comes down to the individual. So, Troy, I appreciate your perspective on that, and we can have a differing of opinion. Hopefully, we can have a difference of opinion. But here's what it is. Other than that, I'm done. It was.
Hey,
Yeah.
we didn't. This is my final word. We didn't get to this topic, so we were just talking about choices. And the United States, your United States of America, has just chosen a
They go to Russian Tony Stark.
Yeah, to let go of the Russian Tony Stark for a WNBA basketball player that we gonna ignore anyway. If you be honest, when the last time you watched a WNBA game?
What team she play on? Quick,
no
lightning round.
clue,
What team she play on? Quick.
No clue. I only know about 3 teams. So, yeah, talk about choices. You didn't have to do that, unfortunately. So I guess we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we can talk about that next week. Y'all know how I felt about that. I have been 10 toes down that she should have sat herself down.
Mercury? Is there a team called Mercury?
Her team. She's in Phoenix. She's out of Phoenix. But yeah, I said that she should have sat down, and it might not have been. I don't know how long she was over there. Maybe Fonzo or Tim, but I don't know how long she was over there.
Wasn't she playing in the league or something?
She's been playing in that Russian league.
Caught with some league.
She's been playing in that Russian league since 2014.
But she been I don't know how long she was over there for that period of time. But when she went over there, got detained, how long was she detained?
She's been locked up for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So 6 months from a 9-year sentence. I believe the sentence was 9 years. I think she should have sat.
We ain't gonna talk about it right now. We gonna move
on. We gonna get out of here. Definitely.
Everybody was saying free BG though. Free BG.
Hey, the Russian Tony Stark is definitely on the loose. Hey, and one last thing, I want to let everybody know. If you ever need somebody to talk to you about NFTs, holler at your boy. I just bought a bunch of them. I got a whole little portfolio right now. So holler at your boy.
Yeah,
I'll get you right.
Yeah.
All right, good show, everybody. Hey, and all of you in the comment section, if you're mad at Prime, you're mad at the wrong person. That's my final word. Don't be mad at Prime.
Yep.
Sticks and stones may break your bones. These words may help y'all. Appreciate y'all. We out.